Welcome to another lecture. I'm Professor Alexei, and today, alongside my co-host Priyanka, we're embarking on an exploration of a truly remarkable figure in American history. Today, we delve into the life and legacy of Eleanor Rosalynn Carter.
Hi everyone. Eleanor Rosalynn Carter is someone I've always been curious about. She was an influential First Lady, an activist, a writer, and a humanitarian. There's so much to uncover here.
Indeed. We shall first consider the essence of her contributions. Rosalynn was a formidable advocate for mental health and women's rights, offering an evolved archetype for the role of First Lady. Her influence extended far beyond ceremonial duties. She was a strategic advisor to her husband, President Jimmy Carter, and played a significant role in shaping policies and public perceptions.
And her efforts in mental health advocacy are quite profound. She was instrumental in the passage of the Mental Health System Bill in 1980, kind of reshaping how mental health was perceived and treated.
Yes. It's crucial to understand her dedication to these causes. The term mental health advocacy refers to efforts aimed at promoting mental health awareness and improving services. Rosalynn's work in this area laid the groundwork for later developments in mental health care provision and legislative reform.
She also received the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 1999. I think this highlights her major contributions to public service.
Now, moving forward, let us consider why Eleanor Rosalynn Carter's legacy is of monumental significance. Her work has a lasting impact on both political and social frontiers. Her advocacy was instrumental in altering perceptions around mental health and elevating women's rights in a domain where these areas were often neglected.
And historically, her role was pretty unique, right? She was actively involved in policy making and also served as an envoy, in Latin America. Not many First Ladies had done things like that before.
Precisely. As we continue, it's important to highlight some engrossing facts about Rosalynn Carter. For instance, Time magazine recognized her as the second most powerful person in the United States after just 2 years as First Lady, a testament to her influence. Furthermore, her pragmatic approach is illustrated by her choice to wear the same gown for her husband's gubernatorial and presidential inaugural balls, underscoring her practical nature.
That's fascinating. She was born on August 18, 1927 in Plains, Georgia, right? And she had a key role as an envoy in 1977, like you said. And then she passed away recently on November 19, 2023.
Indeed. Let's proceed to the next point. Allow me to share a personal reflection inspired by Rosalynn Carter's enduring legacy. Her tenacity in mental health advocacy resonates deeply. It's a shining example of how commitment to a cause can spearhead significant societal change. Her work fundamentally influences current advocacy efforts, underscoring the value of strength, empathy, and strategic action. Next, we shall explore 3 pressing questions that will further illuminate Mrs. Carter's influence. Initially, let's delve into her role in the passage of the Mental Health System Bill in 1980. It was a landmark moment for mental health reform. Her efforts were crucial in addressing the stigma surrounding mental illness and championing a more inclusive health policy perspective.
I often think about how significant that legislation was. How does it compare historically with other policy changes in mental health?
In this context, it's important to highlight that the Mental Health System Bill represented a pivotal shift, not only in terms of policy, but also in societal perspectives. It opened discussions that had previously been cloaked in silence and stigma. This was a clear testament to Mrs. Carter's vision and dedication. Let's transition to another aspect: Rosalynn Carter's leadership style. We see an impactful redefinition of the First Lady's role, as she adeptly balanced traditional responsibilities with activism. Her approach empowered future First Ladies to be more actively engaged in shaping public policy and directly influencing societal norms.
Isn't it interesting how her leadership style sort of blurred the lines between traditional roles and activism? How did she manage to, impact policy so effectively?
Yes, it's crucial to understand that her effectiveness lay in a juxtaposition of subtlety and assertiveness. She could influence significant policy reforms through her adept understanding of her role and impeccable strategic foresight. Mrs. Carter's contributions were both profound and quietly revolutionary. On to our next point, which concerns Rosalynn Carter's enduring legacy in today's context. Her early advocacy efforts have had a ripple effect on contemporary mental health advocacy and the modernization of the First Lady's role to be more politically active.
This makes me wonder how her work continues to inspire current efforts in mental health and politics. Are there areas we still need to focus on?
Fundamentally, despite the progress, challenges persist. the discourse must advance. Enhancing mental health resources remains critical. Policy and advocacy driven by compassion and informed by past figures like Mrs. Carter can guide us forward, as she demonstrated the transformative power of dedicated advocacy. In conclusion, let us briefly encapsulate Eleanor Rosalynn Carter's legacy. Her influence reshaped the societal landscape on mental health and demonstrated that a First Lady's role could surpass traditional boundaries. Her actions and ethos inspire and will continue to inspire those championing tangible societal change.
We explored her influence on policy and advocacy and saw how her leadership extended beyond our traditional expectations. These are some great points to reflect on.
Let us not forget those who preceded and followed her. For further inquiry, one might consider Eleanor Roosevelt or modern mental health initiatives, which owe much to Rosalynn's groundwork. Thank you all for joining us in this exploration. Continue to seek knowledge in your pursuits.
Thanks, everyone. We hope you enjoyed this journey through her life and work. Until next time.